Hey everyone, it's Steve from the garden. In this video, I'm going to do something I haven't done before, and that is I'm going to try growing some ginger. Now, we had some ginger that we had left down on the counter, and it looks like it's starting to sprout. Now, I'm going to show you that in just a second. If this is a piece I broke off another one, you can see it's starting to sprout. And the same with this larger piece. You got all this little nubs right here where it's starting to grow out. Since the ginger is already starting to sprout, I figured I might as well just go ahead and grow this. It'd be nice to be able to grow some of our own ginger to be able to use in our cooking. So let me show you what I'm going to do to get this started. So to get the initial germination going and to get the plant started, I'm just filling up one of these aluminum trays with a potting soil. This isn't very deep, as you can see here. But it'll be deep enough where the plants can start growing some roots and start growing some vegetation, and then whatever manages to keep, then I can up pot them into something else. So I'm just going to go ahead and separate this. You got like this piece right here with this node coming off. So I'll break that off. And then this has sprouts on it, and this has a sprout. So this should start growing. And I can just kind of put that in. This mix is a little bit dry yet, but I'll wet it down after we get everything put in. And I'll just bury that underneath the surface. I'm not going to try getting nodes up or down because I got nodes on both sides, or sprouts. And I'll do the same with this larger pieces. I'm simply going to break off each little section that's got sprouts on it. Well, I'm going to be planting these kind of densely. This is really just to get them started. And once they get going, I can always move them to a bigger container. And so each little node, I don't know. I mean, it's not that big, but it should be plenty enough that it can get going and start growing some roots. Even like this main part of the stem, as long as it's got some growth on it, I'll go ahead and plant that in. I think that'll be enough to get us started, so I'll just cover up what I put in here. Looks like I might have to add a little bit more mix into this, so let me go do that. There, I got the tray topped up. Just lightly tap it in. I'm going to go ahead and water this in, and then I'll put it upstairs. Since ginger naturally grows where it's much warmer, my grow station up on the south side of the house, that's going to be the warmest spot I have. And it also gets, a fair amount of sunlight. I mean, not direct sunlight, but at least indirect sunlight. Once vegetation starts breaking the surface, if it does at all, we'll come back and see how long that took. I should note that, I just broke these off and planted them. Ideally, you'd probably want to break them off and let them sit for a couple days, just so that spot you broke off has a chance to heal over a little bit before you put them in the soil. But for me, this is just some extras, so if it doesn't quite work out, then I'll know for next time. It's been 13 days since we started the ginger inside this tray, and we got our first sprouts coming above the soil surface. So our first sprouts are here, here, and here. Now the other ones that we have, they haven't done anything yet. If these three are growing, then I'm sure the other ones won't be long. It's been several weeks since we first started the ginger, so I thought we would come in and take a look and see how they're doing. You can see that the roots have sprouted and they seem to be growing pretty well. So it's time to move these out of the small tray into a larger tray where the roots have more room. So I'm going to go ahead and put them into a 10 by 20 tray so that the roots have that space that they need. So I'll minimize the mess that gets out. I'm just going to have the small tray inside this tote, so anything that spills out as I pull the roots out stays in here. Then we'll transfer them over to the 10 by 20 tray. So I'll just go ahead and tease these apart. Trying to be careful not to disturb it too much. There we go. You can kind of see those are some good roots growing on there. So all of that is just from the one root. I'll put that in here, spread it out. And then I'll end up topping this off with some more soil Let's move on to the next one. Now this is a much smaller piece, but the roots are all coming out. So again, we'll just move that over here into this bigger space. Yeah, this one's got 2 plants growing out of it too. So we'll move that over. This one's just got the 1. Yep, just 1 on that one. When I was researching growing ginger, it looks like the plants don't really need that much depth, but they do need space to go wide. So that's why I'm hoping this 10 by 20 tray will work out. That's a small little piece, so we'll put that over here. And then the last piece, it's got another shoot coming up. So again, we'll spread that out here. So let's see if any pieces did not sprout at all. And it doesn't seem like it. It seems like all the pieces I planted all sprouted and are growing now. So we'll just take some of this mix and put it on the top. Actually, let me, I'll just dump that out. And we'll do it like this. So I'll just fill in the rest of the tray with the mix from the other tray. Soil I'm using in the bottom tray is a combination of compost and potting soil, and I also added just a little bit of worm castings to it to give a little extra fertilizer. The plant's in place. I'm just going to give this a good watering. With the roots in a larger tray, they should have enough room to grow out here until the weather gets warm enough where I can start transferring them outside. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do for the outside container. I might take one of these totes like this, drill some holes in it, and use that as my container for outside. For the amount of plants I have, that container should be plenty large enough to hold them all, give them room to grow out, and it'll be easy enough that if I need to move them around, I can just move them around inside that tote. As the season progresses and the weather gets warmer, I'll get these transferred outside, and then we'll check on them periodically during growing season, during my garden tours, so we can see how the plants are doing. Then at the end of the season, we'll do a harvest to see what we got in total. But since this video is just to get them started, that'll be it for today. And I hope you enjoyed, got something out of this, and we'll see you on the next one.